What's up YouTube, this is Paul from Mickey Tech Tips, and today we're going to be doing a setup tour for the Spring 2016 edition. So let's get started. It's changed quite a bit since the last time we did one last year, which would have been like almost a year ago. I think I did it like in April of 2015. Because since then I've added on one extra monitor and I've also worked on some cable management. So let's go dive deeper into the setup. So for my center display I have an Asus. I forget the model number off the top of my head, but I'll have a link in the description. This monitor was only about $108 off of b&hphoto.com. It's a really great monitor. It's 1080p, it's got HDMI with audio, which I wanted something like that so I could hook another Chromecast up, because sometimes I like to sit at my desk and watch stuff without having to look up at my TV that's above me, which I'm not going to be featuring in this setup because I don't have it really a part of this setup at the moment. But sometimes I like to sit and watch stuff, but I don't really want to turn on my PC, even though it doesn't take long and it isn't hard to turn on. But sometimes I just want to sit there and watch stuff from my phone onto a computer monitor. So I bought this monitor. $108 isn't bad. It's got really great color, and if you guys go buy it, I suggest you play around with the color settings, because the default one that it's set on, I don't care for it, but once you get it set up right, it looks really great. So I guess let's go on to the sides of the monitor. So I'm going to start with the left. So on the left hand side of the monitor we have my Dell Venue 11 Pro 7140. This is my 2-in-1, which is basically a tablet / laptop, because you can detach this from the keyboard. And I love this little computer because it's very portable. Now I am going to be making another video on it very soon about the processor inside of it. Because it has a Core M processor and I kind of think it's a little overpriced for what it is, but if I'm just doing light tasks, this thing's really great to use. I would recommend it if the price could still come down, because it's a little bit steep still, but I mainly use it in laptop mode. I barely even use the tablet case I have for it, just because I find this configuration more useful. So I have that over there, so when I need to use it. So yes, let's go move on to the right side of the screen. So here's something that you may also recognize from the last setup I did. This is my Dell E2014H. It's on the right hand side of my Asus monitor that you can see in the left hand side of the video. But this thing's a really great monitor for the price. It was only like $120 at the time. I think it's even like $70 now. The only negative complaint I have about it is it's partial HD, it's not full HD, and it doesn't have an HDMI on it. And the reason why I do like the Asus one better is because I can get more onto the screen since it's full HD. But other than that, this is actually not that bad of a monitor for a secondary task, and I might be replacing it with an Asus monitor like my center one, or I might go buy another one like this and put it on my left hand side after I build myself a PC. So let's see what happens next time I do a setup tour. It'll probably either be this fall, or it might even be a year from now. And the reason why I'm saying maybe this fall, because I might be completely different. So we'll have to see. Okay, so here's my keyboard. I use a Logitech K400R. It's basically a multimedia keyboard meant for media center PCs, but I use it as a regular desk keyboard for right now, and I like it because it's got a trackpad and keys on it, and it's very portable and wireless, so I can take it with me when I go out of town and stuff. So I really like it. Now, in the future, I do plan on replacing it, because this is not the most ergonomical thing ever. And especially when I'm doing some stuff that I kind of wish I had a mouse for, this doesn't cut it because it has a trackpad. So mouses, they still have their place, but for now I've been using this and it's actually not that bad. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this or not. This is my Bose Companion. I think these are the original one speakers. It's kind of hard to see because of the it's got shadows casting off from the monitor on my Venue 11 Pro, but these are the speakers I use. I was going to use a amplifier, which was a guitar amplifier under my feet, but ever since I went to this Asus monitor, I actually went back to these because I just walked out a lot better cable management wise, which is something that I really haven't done in the past, but it's something that I'm really working on now. So this is what speakers I use in my setup, and they're really great speakers. So here's the heart of my setup. It is my first gen Dell Inspiron 15R. Now, originally I got the Dell Venue 11 Pro as a replacement for this, but what happened is since that Dell Venue 11 Pro was kind of overpriced and did not perform as well as I expected, I'm still using this as my daily driver as a computer. Now I am taking it for granted that this does have an SSD now, so for a period of about 6 months I really didn't use this, but after I put an SSD in it, I actually use this again, and it's actually not been too bad. In fact, I don't barely notice a difference compared to my Venue 11 Pro ever since it's got an SSD, and the only times I notice a difference is when it's doing some stuff like video editing and stuff, because this has a higher clock speed computer processor, so it performs some things a little bit better than the Venue 11 Pro. But this will no longer be here come July. In fact, while I have this computer set up, I'll be able to put in a new computer. It'll actually be some kind of desktop that I'm going to be building, which will be my first ever PC build. It'll be going like right here. I'm going to be taking out this desk, and so it should fit just fine. But that's why I have the setup like I do, just so I can be able to swap out PCs no problem. And like you see that the cable mess back there, it's not as bad as it used to be, but that'll be fixed come when I put a new PC in, because a lot of it is weird places to hook the cables up for this laptop. So I'm still having to deal with that, but you can't see it because it's kind of hidden unless you look down there. But those are the only problems when I did cable management, but there's no other place to really put it. So this will be gone soon. It's going to be hard to let this computer go because I've been using this for the past 5 years, but I need something that's more powerful. So yeah, once I get that, I'll be able to throw in another monitor and do some other great stuff with it. So yeah, let's move on to the final so here's the last part of my setup. This is my Dell E510 desktop PC that I've been using for my Linux PC series just recently. And on this PC, my future plans for it, as you can see in my Linux PC episode 1, which you can find up here, I planned on using this as a Linux PC. Now, the biggest problem I'm running into is that this thing is aging. It's about 10 years old. I'm planning on throwing an SSD and maybe some kind of cheap graphics card in there to see what performance it gets out of it. Now, I'm not expecting too much, but if it does give me some slightly better performance, then maybe I'll still use it as a Linux PC. But the biggest problem I'm running into is this thing's aging, and so even though Linux still runs on it fine, this thing's just not power efficient, and it just, as I said, it's old. My plans for my Linux PC eventually is that after I build my desktop, if I give up on this, I plan on using my Dell Inspiron 15R that's currently driving the setup as a Linux PC, because that thing still runs fairly fine, even to this day. So it'd be a really great Linux PC. It's going to be sad to have to see this not be used for that series, but I kind of understand why. And this thing, as I've said in why you should stop upgrading a PC and just buy a new one up here, which is like one of my first videos, I basically say don't upgrade these PCs. So I'll see how this goes, but I don't expect much for it. It's also hooked up to the what was it? I think it's hooked up to the Asus monitor, so it's ready for. Actually, it's not hooked up to the Asus. It's hooked up to the Dell monitor on the right, but it's ready for to be used. In fact, all I have to do is throw a power cable on and it's ready. And above it is the keyboard and mouse for it. I'm not going to show it just because it's the one that came with the computer, but all that stuff's probably going to be gone eventually anyway. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna push with that. So stay tuned for my Linux PC episode 2 to hear more about this PC. So I guess it's time to conclude the video. Okay, so I guess that's it. This is my best setup I've ever done. I got 3 displays up there, my Venue 11 Pro and my 2 monitors, and it's really great. Come when I do my custom PC build, which you have a name for it. It's going to be called Project Electric Bicycle. I'll explain that come July. But it's going to basically take this setup to the next level, and I'm probably going to buy another monitor to go over here. And I got some other plans by sticking a one monitor stand up there, so it's going to be really great. For right now, this thing just set up the best it can be, and once I get the more computer horsepower to do better things with it, it's going to be really awesome. So stay tuned for that. Also, thanks for the 200 subscribers. I finally hit the 200 sub mark, and I basically doubled my subscriber count in like 3 months. So thank you for that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.